Was this tune made by D-Ro?
Yo, what up everybody? My name is D-Ro. This is my first video and I wanted to make it sure that we come out with a banger. So today we're going to be going over an entire recording template, showing you guys the exact equipment that I use, the routing of all of the audio, and how the template works. And at the end of the video, I'll also tell you how you can download this template completely for free. And then I want you guys to take this template and make it your own and share any songs that you make with it. I really want to hear it. So without further ado, let's hop into Cubase and let's get started. We're gonna start off with, before we even get into all of this, I just want to show you guys what we're working with here, right? So the first thing is a microphone. I love this microphone. I've had it for a long time. AKG P220. Any microphone pretty much would do, as long as it's condenser and decent quality. I think that this chain will actually like bring out a lot of good tones in any microphone. And then you can obviously like EQ and use dynamic compression to shape your vocal more and things like that too. Everything starts with this. First, it's being covered by this called a Chaotica Eyeball. This is the newer version. I don't have it. I have the older version. It comes with a different pop filter, as you can see. And then it goes into the Volt. Let's talk about these two things combined, right? So the eyeball, it helps with, because this room is not treated and it's not like studio quality room, this eyeball basically isolates the input from your microphone so that there isn't any reflections, or as little reflections as possible. And then this, I picked this up because it has a built-in 76 compressor. For this template and the way that I record, I actually have it turned off, but I do have the vintage sound turned on, which does have a tube emulation if I remember it correctly. Now we're going to talk about also the gain. You see how here it's all the way turned up? Where I have it for this actual, when I'm actually recording, I have it like right here. Let me do that in a brighter color so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I usually have it right here, and the reason for that is because I don't want the input, because you'll see when we get into this here shortly, I don't want the input to be way too loud and then it starts distorting and clipping the vocal. Now to your taste, you can obviously adjust this, and every interface is different, but that's where I have it at for this. Now that we went over that quickly though, we can actually hop in here and start going over the actual preset. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is fix my audio interface's input gain volume, and then we're going to hop in here. Okay, so this right here is basically the root of everything. These three, the preamp, the lead vocal group track, and the first recording track. Now what we're doing here, because I don't have an outboard compressor, an outboard preamp, stuff like that, what we're doing here is we're actually, because I don't have outboard gear, we're putting the preamps and the compressors and things like that on the actual input, because what it does is it prints that sound to the recording. So it basically emulates having outboard gear without actually having it. This is something that I think is really nice, and it will allow you to come up with your own channel rack. So let's start going over it. We'll turn everything on one by one. The first thing I have in here is going to be the UAD610A preamp, and we'll do a quick little, you see this is with it off, and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking, and this is with it on. So it gives it a little bit more oomph, gives it a little bit more gain. I didn't change anything with these. I think I actually turned this off. It was on high by default, but you'll see why I did that when we go into this next preamp. And this is the 610B preamp. So what I've done here is, you see, it significantly increases the volume, and sometimes even what I'll have to do is push these back. So like we can even push this back and push this back as well. And this just gives me a lot of high end, a lot of volume, and clarity. It's not overpowering. It's not too bassy or anything like that. It really gives that nice. If you can see, here's a 10K, I have a nice 10K boost. That is a really good trick that I learned from Tizio. I watched this whole template, by the way. Shout out to Tizio. This whole template comes from Tizio pretty much. I was just trying to replicate the outboard gear with this, and this is how I did it. I think they use the 1073 to add the 10K hertz boost, like what I'm doing here. But because I don't have that, and the plugin that I have for the 73 is not really a preamp, I'm not using it. So this is how we get that preamp boosted sound without actually having outboard gear. And then what I have right here is a plugin called Silk Vocal. I'm not really too sure if this is like a multi-band exciter or what this is. It's multi-band something, but what it's doing to my vocal is pretty much balancing them out. So like if I say, okay, I have too much low end in my voice, I could take the low end out, I could boost some of the high end here, and then I could say, let's take some of this mid out too. And now I can listen to this and I say, okay, this sounds a little bit better for the tone I'm looking for. And you can even listen to the different frequencies, so you can hear it very, 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 very nice to like identify everything that's going on in your vocal. And you can mix around with this, like depending on how your vocal sounds. You can even, I didn't even notice, like if I wanted to do a printed EQ'd effect, you can just solo this, hit record, bow. But yeah, this is pretty good. Let me undo all this. Okay, yeah. And from right there, what I do is I bring in a CLA 2A. Well, this is a UAD 2A emulation of that hardware. And basically, I bring this in to iron out the peaks from what Tizio. Let me make this bigger so you can actually see it. From what Tizio explained, we want to be hitting around -3 comfortably. And if we're hitting -5, that's a little bit too much. So like even here, it's like, and I would imagine because it's probably not the right distance. Yeah, this is a good distance. This is a good level. So you see how like right here, I'm hitting -3 around there. And then if I really, really, really bring my voice up, I'm hitting 5. And that can even give you an indication you might want to lower your gain, or you might want to increase your peak reduction, so that balances out. But it's really a personal preference. Let's bring this back to small, and then what I do as well. Let's look up here real quick. So this is a pre-section. So this is before my vocals even hit any of this. I'm taking a low cut. I'm doing at 80 hertz, and it's a pretty. We can even make it. There we go. We can even make it like sharper. It's very sharp now at 80 hertz, and that basically just removes a lot of the low end bassy rumbleness, so that you can get some clearer vocals. And then right there, what I'm doing is just putting auto tune on at the last effect. And that basically just prints. Again, all of these effects print on the vocal. Okay. So that means that once you record it, these effects are final. You can't change them after the fact. So just make sure that when you are recording something, if you open up this template, you got it set to how you want it for your vocals, and then start recording. What I would recommend you do is once you do get it set, if you're in Cubase, you can save it as a template for yourself. If you are in any other DAW, you should be able to save this as a template as well. Any DAW that accepts like the .DAW project file, you should be able to save it as a template. What we're going to go ahead and do, though, is we're going to take a look at the next part of this preset template thingy. We're going to start taking a look at how my vocal from this preamp channel is being routed. So it starts with the recording tracks, And these recording tracks have an input of the preamp, right? And it has an output of this group track. So in like Pro Tools, it's like a bus. In Studio One, I think it's also a bus. Aux tracks. The terms are interchangeable, but this is getting sent to a group track called LeVox, and LeVox is where I have the rest of my processing. So we'll go into that, and we'll see how that changes the vocal and processing of your vocals. So the first thing that we have in here is just an EQ. Let's open this up. So this is again another cut at 80. We really want to get that. There's no need to have any of this stuff here. And then we have two small boosts. We have a small boost at 8K, about not even a decibel. And then we have at 10K, again, that's that magic love frequency at the high end. We got a boost at 1.5 decibels. And you can even tweak this further. You can do a lot of subtractive EQing here, depending on what your vocal is. Generally, I just leave it like this. And if I really need to, I have like the Waves Auto EQ that I could throw on all of this, and it'll auto EQ it for me with the subtractive EQ, which is usually good enough. The next thing is we're gonna throw in the 73. This is where I bring in the 73 personally, and again, there's not too much of a difference other than the character, I feel like here, and the character just brings out the vocal a little bit more, I think. So that's why I add it here, and I just use the default vocal preset, Vocal 1. Didn't change anything, just left everything how it is, and we're gonna go into the next plugin, which is gonna be a C4. This is gonna be a multi-band compressor, dynamic multi-band compressor. It shapes the vocals pretty much. It takes a lot of the, it adds a lot of the high-end oomph. If you want to, you can even like remove a lot of the low end here, change the frequency of where that cuts off, and shape it like that, and boom, now you have less low end in my voice, and I have a lot of nice high end that's not really too crazy. This is what I love about this, and you can change it for any type of song that you need, so it helps change the vocal and shape it really nice. Then we go into something that's super important. If you're not using this on your vocals, get this template so you can start using it on your vocals. It's a de-esser. You don't need to use a specific one by Waves. Any DAW should come with a de-esser. But yeah, get a de-esser on there. And what you're aiming for is, and I can even adjust this because it doesn't seem like what you're aiming for, which your de-esser is about 3 to 6 dB peak. Like you see how this is coming down to like -3, and it's coming down to like -6 when those sibilances are coming up. Yeah, you want to get rid of that because that sound is pretty ear jarring, and you don't want people to listen to your song and turn it off because there's a ear jarring frequency in your vocal. So we have that de-esser, we have it hitting, and the last thing we're going to turn on here is this is a Pultec style EQ, and this is again just to give the vocal a little bit more character, a little bit more high end. It's on a vocal focus preset. So it's really just emphasizing the vocal and really just like bringing it to the front more. And that really shapes it up for like what the main chain is. So we can see that we have the master track, we have the group track folders, and then we have that LeVox group. And then we have the recording track. And now I'm gonna open up these other recording tracks because then we're gonna speak about quickly, not too much, how to use this because we're gonna do that more in depth after we go over the full template. But essentially, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to have your tracks like this. These are all preset and already routed. And you're gonna want to use this as your main recording, like when you're actually recording. And when you're recording, you're gonna just want to record. Let's say that's something I wanted to keep. Then boom. All right, now we're recording. You see how that came in? It was line 2. Da 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 da. We're gonna bring that down. Then we're gonna come back. All right, now we're recording. You see how that came in? It was line 2, and now we're doing line 3, and now we're recording again. So, and then we just bring that down, and you can obviously cut that, bring that down. And then what that allows you to do is when you have the whole section that you want, you just bring it down to where it goes. And then that's how you pretty much use the template. But let's finish going over the rest of how this template works and what the routing list look like. Let me open up the rest of these group tracks. Make sure the effects tracks are here. And the instrumental track. Yeah, this instrumental track is in case you want to bring in a beat that somebody else made and you're not making a beat. But you can also open this template, hide everything, and then make your beat. And then when you're ready to record vocals, bring everything back in, and then you already have your vocal recording template ready to go. So now we have everything here. We'll see. We have a few different effects. We have a long reverb. We have a 1/4 delay. We have a 1/8 delay. We have an exciter. We have a doubler, and we have a 76 compressor. Everything is routed, right? So these recording tracks, we got to remember, are routed to your lead vocals. And we'll see that our lead vocals are also routed to the lead vocals. All we're essentially doing is copying this. Everything is coming through here. And then if we want to do, let's say we wanted to add a reverb, right? And reverbs are very personal. You can pick your favorite reverb. This one is what I like right now. And then I usually just bring up the pre-delay. Quick tip, if you don't know, you can take so to figure out what the best pre-delay is, what you can do is take 60,000 and divide it by your tempo. So let's say your tempo is 140 BPM. This is your pre-delay time. Usually what I do is I take this number and divide it by 2. And then this is the pre-delay time I go with. And then I come in here and then boom. Now if I have a song that's at 140 BPM, I have a perfect pre-delay on the vocals reverb, which is something that a lot of people I haven't seen talk about very much. But yeah, so what I do is I have an effects track, and I have this effects track being routed as a send to the lead vocal group track. So that way we can turn on the lead vocals reverb and just control the amount. And it depends on the song. It depends on, a lot of different things and the vibe you're going for and stuff. But reverb, you can have low or you can have high. You can have a longer reverb. You can have a shorter reverb. You can change it however you want. The next thing I follow it up by, in the same deal, is an effects track getting routed to the lead vocal group track. The next thing I follow it up by is the 1/8 delay. This 1/8 delay is very subtle, and you can even turn it down here because nothing's playing. So I don't want you to hear it too much as I want you to feel it. And we can go over what's on here. So it's a very simple, I opened up the 1/4. Let's open up the 1/8. So this is a very simple delay. It's set at 1/8. It's set at ping pong. And then I have the high pass and low pass to give it like a radio effect. And I have the feedback a little bit lower than default, I believe. I don't have analog on for this. Sometimes I'll throw it on depending if I want the sound or not, but it really just adds noise. So if you're not trying to get that noise in your mix, you probably want to keep it off. The next thing I follow it up by is a 1/4 delay. And this just gives me that actual delay that I'm looking for. And you can turn it up, you can turn it down. And we can pull that one up as well so you can see how I have that set up. about the same level of feedback. We have it set to 1/4. We have the lo-fi on this just to give it a little bit of different sound from the 1/8 delay. But you see we still have the high pass and low pass filters. The analog is also turned off. And that's pretty much how I have it set up. Now, a lot of times, like with the higher BPM songs, I like to switch this to 1/2, but it's up to your preference. I'm gonna turn this off for now because we're not recording anything, but yeah, you get the gist. The next thing I add in here is gonna be an exciter. The one that I'm using right now, let's pull it up, is the vintage oral exciter, the Aphex. By Waves, and I just put on a vocal preset essentially, and I just put it as a send like the other ones and just increase the send volume to taste, and now we can do the next one is going to be a doubler. The doubler is very essential. I just pulled up a default preset. I turned off the direct, and I put the left and right at different delays to give it some different space. And you can hear if we turn this up, it starts getting a little bit wider. I personally don't like it this wide. I personally like it down here just to give it a little bit more of that feeling rather than hearing it. That's personally what I like, is just a feeling. And then what we have to top all of that off is the 76. So this is another compressor that is very, very widely used. So this is just an emulation of it, and you see I have it smashing hard at a 20-to-1 ratio. I have the attack at a medium attack, and I have the release at like a slower release. And I have the input pretty much almost at 25. Pretty much like really smashing it. And the reason is because you want to use this as like, again, another sound shaper. So now we have, let's turn it off. And now we turn it on and we start bringing it in. You can hear this really adding a lot of like, that's the best way like I could describe it. Like it's really giving that voice like some grit. This is something that you do to taste per song, but it's very important that you use this or something similar to really top off that chain and really get that nice grit sound. Now that we kind of have an understanding of how the vocal chain works, there really isn't too much to go over other how to use a preset. So if you are in Cubase, pretty straightforward. You're just gonna open it, and you should be able to just start recording as long as you have your inputs and things connected like that. You should just be able to start going. If you're missing some plugins, you can pause the video, go back, and just watch the different plugins that I opened up and what I had the parameters set to, and basically replicate it with any plugins. I also want to do another version of these later down the line for stock plugins, because you can, but for right now, this is where we're at. We're gonna load up a project with this template that I was doing, just to give you kind of an idea of how you can actually use this in a real song project, okay? So I'll be right back. All right, so now we're in an actual project where I was actually recording, so there's a lot of delays going on and things like that, but let's give it a quick listen here.
Lately I've been feeling like I'm him, cause I really am. Checks coming in, I gotta spend it, or I gotta flip it. I just told my homie that I got it, and he didn't get it. Man, I swear I never go back to that motherfucking shelter. I remember in the shelter, I ain't had no shit to eat. Had to hit my baby up for food, she was good to me. I was doing everything I could just to get $1. Now I got the bills paid, trust me, I'm self-made. And grandma, I wish you.
Okay, so this is the sound that you can get, and this is what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're gonna see what we're over here. We were over here doing something, and we're gonna just try to finish up this verse real quick, show you how to actually use the template, and we're gonna go from there.
Yeah, they used to laugh at me in school when I would bring my laptop to make the beats in class, but now I got them watching, now what? And I ain't make this beat, but if I did, you still would feel it. But that's beside the point, cause this song is about me winning. I used to take the bus and now we on a different route. I got some dreams of a better car and bigger house.
Okay, so you see, we just got that line. And what I'm gonna do is just cut the empty space so I can drag it down here.
Stuck to myself, I was steady trying to make it out.
So again, same thing, we got the line that we wanted, so we just cut out the excess dead part, drag it down.
I finally did, grandma, wish that you could see me now. I finally did, grandma, wish that you could see me now.
And then what I do here, we'll take this hook part, but I can't talk.
And grandma, I wish you could see this. You'd be so proud. I wish you could see this. You'd be so proud. You used to call me Kalina.
So now that we have the hook over here, after freaking trying to get it on the grid, finally got it on the grid. Now we got the hook on the grid. The next thing is, let's bring all of this. I don't know why I did that. Let's bring it all down to the leads. So
Proud.
now we have everything organized.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what we do here is we're gonna go to our layered box. We're gonna go to, actually no, we're gonna go to our ad-libs. We're gonna add some reverb to the ad-libs.
And grandma, I wish you could see this. And I wish you could see this. Be so proud, cause you'd be so proud. I wish you could see this. And I wish you could see this. Be so proud, cause you'd be so proud. You used to call me Kalina. You used to call me Kalina. You should see it right now. You should see it right now. I wish you could see this. Yeah, I wish you could see this. You'd be so proud. You would be so proud. You would be so proud. You'd be so proud. You would be so proud. You would be so proud. They used to laugh at me in school when I.
So yeah, let's not keep this going longer than it has to be. That was pretty much it. That's how you use a vocal chain, a preset. That's how you get the sound. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace. Yo, what up everybody? I forgot to put this in the video. If you want to get this template, join the Discord. Thank you for so much if you got to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Again, if you make any songs with this template, make sure you share it in the Discord or share it.
Lately I've been feeling like I'm him, cause I really am. Checks coming in, I gotta spend it, or I gotta flip it. I just told my homie that I got it, and he didn't get it. Man, I swear I never go back to that motherfucking shelter. I remember in the shelter, I ain't had no shit to eat. Had to hit my baby up for food, she was good to me. I was doing everything I could just to get $1. Now I got the bills paid, trust me, I'm self-made. And grandma, I wish you could see this. You'd be so proud. I wish you could see this. You'd be so proud. You used to call me Kalina. You should see it right now. I wish you could see this. You'd be so proud. Proud. You'd be so proud. Yeah, they used to laugh at me in school when I would bring my laptop to make the beats in class, but now I got them watching, now what? And I ain't make this beat, but if I did, you still would feel it. But that's beside the point, cause this song is about me winning. I used to take the bus and now we on a different route. I got some dreams of a better car and bigger house. Stuck to myself, I was steady trying to make it out. I finally did, grandma, wish that you could see me now.